Connecticut for an outstanding matchup between national-ranked men's soccer teams. The number 15th ranked Post University Eagles will host number 1 LIU Post Pioneers, and this matchup is great only on CPTV Sports. Hello everybody, Francesco Graziano Jr. alongside my partner Sean Mecki. Sean, what an outstanding matchup we have here today. Post hasn't lost in 10 games. LIU Post is 14-0 this season.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams are going to be in the postseason. I think this is a nice preview of what the Northeast Region NCAA tournament is going to have to offer.
Outstanding matchup between these two teams. You want to focus on some All-Americans. Let's talk about the first ever All-American for Post Soccer, Joe Bacciello.
Yeah, Joe Bacciello, he's kind of an all-around forward. He can do anything. He can play with back to goal. He's quick. He can get in behind defenses. He's also an academic All-American, so very, very strong member of this Post team.
His 9 goals lead the CACC. Talking about the ECC participants from LIU Post, who are number 1 in the land. Their top player is a very good one, Ivan Ausbau.
Yeah, and Ausbau actually leads the nation in goals. So, you know, 2 very potent attackers, but they're not going to be the only thing to watch, but certainly a very exciting aspect of this game.
You're watching a matchup that features 5 All-Americans. NCAA Division II soccer next. Stay tuned for the starting lineups. You're watching CPTV Sports. Looking at the number 1 team in the nation as far as Division II soccer in the NCAA men's field goes. Speaking about them, here at Lamoy Field today, LIU Post coming in at 14-0. Their goalkeeper, Andre Lindsay. Their defenders, the center back is going to be Ani Lacage, along with Christoph Gizak. And the backs, excuse me, I'm looking at your regular Post roster, going with the Post starters here. The backs are going to be John Zarilla and Kevin Ipina. The central midfielders will be Armando Filio and Jose Monterosa. And then, of course, Gino Cadet. And the strikers, Terrell Whitting, Rafael Mora, and the striker, Joe Bacciello. The goalkeeper for LIU is Marco Jorgensen. He's had an outstanding year. Eric Bjorno, Ron Haywood, Johan Forgard, and Per Forgard. Some of the starters there. Ivan Ausbau, who is their main player, will be the forward. The other forward will be Samil Turan, Jonathan Watkin, Carl Lystad, Matias Ruiz, and the central defensive midfielder will be Johan Rundquist. What an outstanding matchup. What should we look for here today, Sean?
Well, I think, in all honesty, this is going to be some of the best soccer available on the Division II level. You've got 2 teams that not only have some big, strong, fast players, but like to really play a possession-oriented style. It's going to be attractive. It's going to be fast-paced. It's just all around going to be a great matchup.
Very excited for this one on CPTV Sports. You want to make sure you tune in for this one and you get really comfortable. You saw Andre Lindsay on your screen. I mentioned he was the LIU Post goalkeeper earlier. He is not. He plays for Post. 0.37 goals per against average. That's first in the CACC. Early on here, it looks like some action there involving number 14, Terrell Whitting, and Post will be able to make their first attack toward the net. Ball loose inside the box. And that is away. After the penalty, some of our officials today, Danny Marks is the head official. Gary Douglas and Chinadu Ogbenta are the assistant referees. So early on, it saw like Post was trying to take advantage of that opportunity they had.
Yeah, just like any match, you know, that first 10 minutes is always going to be a little bit of a toss-up. Both teams trying to settle, especially 2 teams like this who would like to put the ball on the ground. Look for the first 5 to 10 minutes for both teams to settle in, but you never know. Sometimes that yields an opportunity.
Early on here, I know it's only a couple of minutes in, but as long as Post stays on offense, that means the best player in men's Division II soccer doesn't get any touches, and I think that might be one of your keys to the game, Sean.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, both of these defenses have their hands full with these two strikers up top. And I think whoever can keep the supply of those balls to those forwards from getting through is really going to have the upper hand in this match.
You see handling the possession there is number 21 for Post, Kevin Ipina, All-American left back. Been so instrumental to their success. We've seen him in the CSL as well. That was a very nifty pass to keep it forward by Whitting. On the ball right now, a good shot, but turned away by Jorgensen. And they'll get their corner kick. Rafael Mora on the attack. And you know what? This Post fans have some juice as you see them go for the attack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was a brilliant attack, orchestrated in large part by Armando Filho, their Brazilian number 20, the midfielder here. Very creative, a good textured ball in, and Post is making their mark early on this game.
First corner kick. Trying to keep it low. It's loose in the box. And another one will sail over the uprights here, and it will be a goal kick early on here. It's been a couple of set pieces that they've been able to get here, Post, starting to frustrate the defense into some mistakes.
Sure, and those set pieces come from the pressure they're putting on. I think Post has come out and made a statement. You know, of course, they're a little bit of an underdog in this game, but not by much. I mean, these are the top two teams in the region, but Post is defending their home turf today. They're coming out with a big, strong message that they're going to take this game into their own hands.
Post is 11-1-1 on the season. They're unbeaten in the last 10 games. The only problem that they have is they tied Bentley University 1-1 in double overtime, and a tie not so good in the national rankings. They fell from 9th to 15th.
Sure, and national rankings, you know, they're important. They help raise the profile of your school. At the end of the day, what matters most to these two teams is their regional ranking. Currently, this is the number 1 team in LIU Post and the number 2 team in Post. And at the end of the season, what happens is there are no automatic qualifiers for Division II. So the NCAA tournament is a selection committee. And the top 6 teams from the Northeast region go through. As of right now, these two teams are sitting pretty.
Throwing into the box. There will be a call inside. And it will go back to LIU Post. The Pioneers have had such a tremendous year. They have been so outstanding at what they do. Undefeated to this point. 12 goals against on the year. Matthias Spinners is their goal. Marco Jorgensen is their goalkeeper. 14-0. Faced 168 shots this year. 0.94 goals against average. So totally on the season for them. They've scored 50 and just allowed 12. Last year's 7-3-1 mark was their best ever. I think they'll be a little better than that this year. Tough elbow on the ball there. It's going to be called against number 9 for LIU Post. The striker, Ivan Osbal, the first time we're able to talk about him in game action. Armando Filho will handle it. There's Ipina. Introducing you to these guys as they take the ball, the center back, Christoph Giesing. Another collision very early on here. Both teams asserting themselves certainly physically here in Waterbury. Outstanding matchup we have here. LIU Post, the number 1 team in the in the CACC. Now they're in the ECC, East Coast Conference, and Post, number 1 team in the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference. Looking to get on the attack. That'll be the handball. Incidental, but right thing to do is call it. That goes against Joey Bicella. Joey Bicella, a good year for him. His 9 goals lead the ECC. And you can tell that the game plan has to be to get him the ball. Both of these teams play possession games with a lone striker really up top because, you know, you got to get those top goal scorers the ball. First the possession there by Filio. Dandy pass underneath, just wide. They got their man the ball. You saw Mora have the possession inside there. Got the shot wide, and wow.
What a great flick.
Mora was the one who had the shot, but the flick underneath, he'll tell us about it.
Yeah, Joey Bacciello, he's showing that versatility. He's not just a goal scorer. He's setting up his teammates as well with creative action like that.
Look at that speed by Mora, trying to get Bacciello underneath. The team speed right now for Post, I don't know how they could keep it up because it's at an epic rate, I would say, Sean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I think they've really wanted to come out and send a strong message that they're going to take charge in this game. In last year's matchup, they actually did come out and score the first goal as well. Unfortunately, at that point, they then ceded 3 goals to the other team. So for this team, perhaps they'll have that first goal again this year.
The goalkeeper having to come out for that one. It'll be the second corner kick for Post, and it's been all Post right now. I would say, I never really get up into this territory, but over 70% of possession right now has been controlled by them. And we're 10 minutes in. They're going to have to make sure they do well with this corner kick because you got to watch that LIU Post counterattack. Keeping it on the ground now. Filio going back and forth. Going back up top to Gino Cadet. Trying to make sure they don't waste it here. And they will call Bacciello offside. So early on now, if you're LIU Post, Sean, it hasn't been the start they wanted because it's been some danger time for them. How do you kind of regroup?
Well, I think that, at the end of the day, that first 10 minutes is that settling in period. Let's see. It's been 10 minutes now. Can they start to hold up this attack in midfield and not let it get through into the final third? You've seen a lot of offside early on from Post, and that's just an indication that they're going to attack and attack and attack. And that timing is going to link up one of these times, and they're going to be in all alone with that goalkeeper, Margot Jorgensen.
And he has been very busy. But you look at the 6'1" senior out of Stratford, Connecticut, Joe Bacciello. And the forward has seen a lot of time in the box thus far, and that's exactly what they want. About 10 minutes in. You're watching a high-powered game here on CPTV Sports. That ball sails out of play, and it will be a throw-in for the Pioneers. If nothing else, Post now can push up here. The Eagles. Filio wanting the possession, but it'll be a throw-in for the Pioneers instead. Getting tangled up was Ipina, and of course,
perhaps just a little bit over-anxious on that play. Carelessly stabs in, goes through the defender's legs. And I think the number 10 up top there, Samil Turan, is playing for the foul a little bit as well.
It's been an outstanding combination up there, Samil Turan and, of course, Ivan Ausbau. Once they get a little possession, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. I really like the ideas they have with the back-to-goal style that Ausbau has. And if they can do it against Post today and they can do it well, they might deserve to be the assumed number 1. 14-0 certainly gives them that perfect resume. For LIU Post, if you're a big fan of the Pioneers, you're going to notice no number 23 in the lineup today. That's big. It's so big because he's in crutches with an ankle injury. That forces them to change their style up a little bit.
Yeah, Billington, midfielder out of Preston, England. He's also played that central role. And you're looking today, you'll see one holding midfielder and two attacking for both squads. And Billington, you know, you're missing a defensive presence in Billington. Could be one of the reasons why the coach for LIU is elected to go with one holding midfielder instead of two.
You know it's serious when you have to change up the formation because you know you want to keep your best personnel all over the place because at the end of the day you want to put your team in a position to get the possession and score some goals. You saw Winning keep that one in. It was a battle between him and number 22, Johan Rundqvist. On the season, the Post Eagles, very good at scoring. You see the header by the goalkeeper there, Lindsay. That was fancy.
That's great
27
recognition
goals,
from
just 5
Lindsay.
allowed.
Great recognition from Lindsay. I mean, he sees that the ball's going to be slipped in behind his back line, and he plays that space very well. Good anticipation.
And the defense ahead of Lindsay has been very good this year. You know why? They've only allowed 5 goals. I think that's pretty good. That might be near the tops in the nation. I know that Lindsay's goals against average is among the top 3.
Yeah, both of these teams known for their attacking prowess, maybe slightly less recognized is just how good these two teams are defensively.
Oh, especially with how LIU Post has had to play a lot of defense early on, but now they're finally back on the attack. And they will have the indirect kick here. It will be handled by number 2, Eric Yornow. Looking for the strike up top, but
Yeah, that looks like something off the training ground. None of that was really improvised. Everybody seemed to have a role. It just didn't come off. In a game this close, sometimes set pieces can be the difference.
and that time Filio will just let his defender take it. And Krzysztof Gizik. Coach likes to call him the Polish Brazilian. Certainly a lot of diversity in this game. You'll find names like Ivan Auspo, Krzysztof Gizik, which is good.
Yeah.
Especially good for these Division II programs.
And a lot of international flavor, but good to mention Gizik is actually a native of Southington, Connecticut.
The Southington standout from the Blue Knights. Here we go as Auspo tries to get his teammate into action there. Almost a calamitous moment, but they got it back to Lindsay in time. Getting free was Whitting, but they're going to call him.
Yeah, you've seen the pace of Whitting has already caused this back line some trouble. I think that's going to be an avenue they'll pursue for the rest of this match. He's starting to like these matchups, and he's had a little bit of freedom. We've seen him on the left side, now we're seeing him on the right.
Into the action now, just about 15 minutes gone. No score. It's been a very good test here for both teams. Those shots by LIU Post, they'd like to change that now. They were looking for Ausbau in the box. Who would be surprised for that? Good chance forward, but Lindsay comes up with it. Lindsay's been very sure of himself, even with that header we saw earlier on.
Yeah, both keepers have been exceptional so far.
Here we go with Rafael Mora, who had a chance earlier on.
Yeah, Mora's in so much space there. Unfortunately, his touch kind of let him down a little bit.
I really appreciate his speed and how he's been able to actually use it early on. Keeping that down. That's a very good cross the field for a man who's had the ball a lot so far, the right back, Carl Lystad. Ipina, the golden-haired one, throws that one back in. Very big tackle there, lowering the shoulder. You're not going to call that one shoulder to shoulder by Rafael Mora. This game is not for the weak of heart. If you don't want to see tough play, you better turn your channel. As a player, as a coach, and especially somebody who focuses on player development like you do, Sean, what do you think about a challenge like that?
Well, you never teach that to a kid, obviously, but it is part of the game. Sometimes it is required to be a little bit physical. Now, that challenge in particular, it is a little bit reckless. It's a little bit late.
And you don't want it to lead to a goal. What a challenge there. Man, I'll tell you what, number 6, pair forward, had no angle on the ball, no angle on the shot, was just trying to get the cross off, and Lindsay, he had to sniff that one out really quick. That's why Lindsay is of the Andre Lindsay, who has a 0.36 goals against average.
That's a sure pair of hands right there.
I'm telling you, that guy's pretty confident. He needed to be there, too, because you know who they were looking for. It was Alsbaugh. 19 goals on the season, leads Division II. That's better than a goal a game if you're keeping touch at home. There's Ospo. Across the field to his go mate. And Lindsay comes up with it. Diving catch made by the wide receiver.
This is much, much better from LIU Post. This is what their reputation would lead me to believe we would see today. They've linked up well in the midfield on that play, and that's something they're going to need to do more of if they want to take control of this game back from Post.
That goes off a foreguard, and now Bacciello can settle it down a little bit. Wait for some help here. They needed to get some more men forward. I think Post. They keep the possession there with Giesick, but they might come to regret that opportunity and not waiting a little bit to actually be able to get some players on the outside. But nonetheless, Ipina will keep it forward. Outstanding team speed, especially from Post. It seems like early on the Post University Eagles are the faster team. LIU Post hoping to be the first team to score, however. Good steal on possession by the defender.
And this gentleman on the ball, pair foreguard, for me, is what's bringing LIU Post back into the game. You've seen the last couple of good, strong moves across the team to set up some dangerous opportunities. It's been him settling in a little bit in that midfield role, buying some time and getting his head up.
He knows what he needs to do, though, especially with the fact that when you talk about keeping possession, sometimes you need to hold it a little while longer, and that's what this midfielder brings to the table. Pair foreguard. And now Ipina on possession.
Look at how far up the field Ipina is for a left back. It's great to see. I mean, you talk about attacking as a team. When your left back is in the final third repeatedly, you know that that's a team that's an attack-minded program.
And it also means that they are keeping a good control of the TOP time of possession, because you need some time to be able to move him up there. You think he's going to play all 90 today?
You know, he's sure had to get up and down the field a lot so far. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get a breather before the end of the half, but who knows?
I wouldn't either. I just want to challenge him. I know he'll be able to answer the call. We like to do that on CPTV Sports, because we know these athletes are tremendous at what they do, and it's really great to showcase some of these guys. Here's Bacciello. Some handsy moves by both players. Bacciello was trying to create a lot of space. He might have gotten away with it, but it's going to go against the man who's had ball a lot for them, Carl Lystad.
Lystad's got his hands full. I mean, he's got to deal with Bacciello. He's got to deal with the speed of Mora and occasionally Whitting coming across. And not to mention, this Kevin Alpina is coming in from the back. He's got a lot to deal with on this right side.
And he's been doing a lot, too. So you saw the sophomore from Oslo, Norway, part of that great tradition here of diversity in the NCAA Division II program. He fouls Bacciello. And Bacciello, you have to think here, will either tip it up in the box or take the shot. He's going for it. Gets in between the defenders, but it goes out of play. Goal kick. So, folks, we just want to remind you that if you go to cptvsports.org, you can see our broadcast schedule, find out where some more post-university games may air, and also about our live Friday night football games, 7 o'clock every Friday night during the football season. That's www.cptvsports.org. Good one here. No score heading into the 23rd minute. Good possession here by LIU Post and Johan Rundqvist, who is the holding midfielder here. And there's Per Forgard trying to push it up. Matias Ruiz keeps it alive. And Apina will send it safely to Lindsay. You know, even something like that they made look tough. I think that the style points are always there for Apina and Lindsay, and they try to make it not look so easy so that they can have a little fun out there. Takes a certain level of panache and style to do that without allowing goals. Crossing it into the box and handled very well by Giesecke.
And here you see Leistad, their right back. So just as you have on one side, you got Apina going forward for this team. Here's Leistad matching end to end.
We do want to apologize to folks at home. Our strong cameraman, Jeremy Karff, was hit. And he was able to stay up. Camera survives because that's what CPTV Sports can do. Back here on the field, a call against LIU Post. I'm telling you, bodies are flying all over the place. We've had some action in front of our desk, and you know what? Sean, we're only 25 minutes in. Here we go now, looking to cross into the box, and that might have been a score-saving play there by LaRon Haywood, the center back. Good combination here as Osbow has it. Here's one of those back-to-the-goal situations. You see him peel up front now. Such good ball management. He'll take a shot, and it's turned away by Giesecke. That time it was Samil Turan who took the chance. He was set up by Eric Borno. They will allow that one to go out of play. Not before LIU Post has the throw-in. Good fight for possession along the far sideline. And now something going on is finally possession kept for the Pioneers. You knew, Sean, that these two teams were going to fight for possession all day because that's just really what they want to do.
Yeah, I think it's really going to be a back-and-forth game. It's going to be a game where one team is going to dominate pressure for a little while the other team tries to sit back and absorb it, and then they're going to change hands. And you see LIU Post is having the better run of the ball the last 5 minutes or so. Andre
Lindsay can take it easy for this one. as we move into the final stages of this half. Post on the throw-in with a man from my hometown, John Zarilla, the right back from Torrington, Connecticut. He is class of 2009, I believe. I was class of 2007. So a good job by him to still be playing here as a senior at Post. Substitution, and one of my favorite guys at Post, Francisco Sastra, comes in, and he'll come in for number 19, Rafael Mora. Sastra kicked for the Post Sprint football team for a while. He actually did double duty between that and soccer. Just didn't really play at some of the tilts when soccer went where Post football wasn't. But Sastra, a part of my very first telecast as an announcer at CPTV Sports. My very first telecast ever as an announcer was Post Sprint football a couple of years ago. And Sastra, he's the real deal with his feet. Pina has a chance forward now. Nobody's giving him any mind, and he's got a lot of space. And you know what I like? There's some good back and forth between Opina and number 10, Samil Turan there, as they were able to play tough, but let each other know that they were there.
Good work by Turan to track back and help out his defender there. He jokingly suggested to Opina that maybe he should have kept going.
He knew that too. I think that Opina was just shocked that nobody was up in that middle third of the field.
Sure, and he's the kind of personality that when he sees space, he's going to want to take it.
This is a game where if you had to divide the field up into thirds, you'd look, of course, at the defensive third, the attacking third, but more importantly, you want to look in between the 35-yard lines here in this field, because that's the neutral zone, and that's where a lot of plays will be won as both teams look for possession. Here we go. Long shot. Will go out of play by Bjorno. And it was actually deflected. Corner kick. Two corner kicks apiece here early on. They'll do it quick. Osball was looking for it, but Lindsay's able to push it away. Back on the counterattack is Post. Through ball, he's onside, but he might have been worried a little bit because he was a little hesitant.
Yeah, going back to that goalkeeping, fantastic anticipation from Andre Lindsay. Can't get two hands to the ball, but what he can do is go up high, get one fist to it, and clear it out to safety. And they nearly got a counterattack from it.
What did Coach say to us earlier? Coach Ted Haley said, number 00, Andre Lindsay, the best goalkeeper in the land.
I believe he did say that. And if you were to ask Coach Andres Lindberg about his goalkeeper, Marco Jorgensen, he would tell you the same. Two excellent goalkeepers here, representing Jamaica and Denmark, respectively.
Both give up less than a goal a game, so that's something you want to see, especially in the Division II race here, where one of these teams needs to create separation from the other. Maybe not as much LIU Post, but the Post University Eagles are going to need a win here so they could say, you know what, let's have a secure playoff positioning here. This will be the second year in a row, it seems, that the Post University Eagles are able to go to the NCAA tournament if they can finish off in top form. What a tremendous feather in the cap of Ted Haley. Pair four guard. Nifty footwork. Trying to find Ausbau. It's number 11, Jonathan Watkin. We haven't seen too much of Watkin here.
No, I don't think we have. And to be honest with you, I think that is a strong credit to the defensive efforts of this Post back line and the holding midfielder, Jean-Louis Cadet.
Also, inserting himself in the action of late has been number 17, Matias Ruiz, as they try to find what it'll take to get chances forward for Ausbau and company. Opina crossing it into the box. Looking for Bacciello. It's so amazing how both of these teams can fight for the ball, just like a real professional soccer team should look like, and turn it up quick. It's all about the passing in this one. A new substitute. Well, actually, that's Jose Monterosa. I just haven't seen him too much. The junior from Los Angeles, California. Monterosa coming a long way, some 3,000 miles, to play in Waterbury, Connecticut. I'll call that one handsy as well. That's going to go against Post and Sastre.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword anytime you see a forward pursue the ball like that. On the one hand, you're 100 yards from goal. A foul isn't going to hurt your team. But on the other hand, you've got your opponent penned in. Why give him that easy out by allowing him a free kick?
Sastre did not start in this game. Put him in late as a little bit of a late burst halfway through the half. And he's a very important player. One of the guys you can highlight on this team. 7 goals, 5 assists. On the attack right now is Post. There was Zarilla to stop that one. And Sastre is able to help him out. And now Post will turn it up. That's a tough loss in possession there. But the deflection will allow Post to regroup. Ted Haley, 2-time reigning CACC Coach of the Year. Post has just been dominating that conference. They won the 2008, I believe it was, CACC title. But since then they haven't won it. I think they'll have a pretty good shot at doing that this year. 11-1-1 mark on the season. Undefeated in CACC play when they have those opponents. Ruiz taking a long shot, and that'll go out of play. So here we go. About 10 minutes left in the half. Fans, if you like this one, like us on Facebook. www.facebook.com/CPTVsports. And also, folks, if you want to stay tight with us on social media, you got to go somewhere else too. At CPTV Sports on Twitter, and tweet us. If you tweet and Facebook us, we look to repost those all the time. You just got to give us good responses. Substitution here, Johan Christensen coming in for Samil Turan. When we get a chance, I'm going to have Sean Meckie tell you about his methodology for how he prepares for games, which I absolutely love and will be stealing pretty soon. But back on possession. Opina being harassed by Johan Christensen, who just came in the matchup and's got fresh legs. Sastre's got space. Can he get the shot? He had to flick it up. And it will go out of play for a goal kick. Sastre had some space. There it was with Eric Bjorno from Randaberg, Norway, a place I'm not too familiar with. Maybe it's near Oslo. Going back and forth with Bacciello there, too.
Fantastic ball in from number 10, Henry Opina. Just absolutely fantastically textured ball for Sastre to run onto.
You know what we're seeing here? We're seeing Opina, Henry Opina, who just came in, and also Christensen, who were new subs, already inserting themselves in this one. But here's Kevin Opina. Terrence Winning, a little too close to the ball for my liking. You're going to see, once they're able to get Winning more heavily involved, one of the forwards here, this winger, once they're able to get him more involved, I think that could make a difference in the scoreline. Got to be able to pull some men off of Bacciello. There's Sastre again. I don't know how he didn't fall to the ground with that Tasmanian devil-like effort from Sao Paulo, Brazil, where the World Cup will be in 2014. And if you're listening and watching on CPTV Sports, feel free to hit me up at FrankieGrazzi6 on Twitter and give me some money to go down to Sao Paulo for the World Cup.
Yeah, I'll take a few donations while you're there.
You know what? It's always an expensive trip, but I think I need the time off from work to make that long of a trip going across the equator. And also, fans, we really care about you at home. So if you're traveling to Sao Paulo for the World Cup, you might want to bring your winter jacket because the weather is a little bit different in the summer there for the World Cup. That's the PSA. And now I want to let you know that when you use your shoulder in soccer, try not to lower it because that is going to result in an indirect free kick as Johan Rundqvist is the guilty offender.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's fully not necessary there. I think he's been a little bit frustrated today, and you see it in that foul. He clearly had the advantage in that situation, throws the shoulder in anyway, and now Post has an opportunity to have a dangerous set piece.
Giesick pushes it into the box. Post trying to keep it alive. Here's Zarilla for Post. Into the box. They were looking for Bacciello. That's the way to go. Kevin Opina. What a shot. Unfortunately for him, more of a field goal effort. But with 6 minutes left, we're going to have a goal kick from Gothenburg, Sweden. You see Johan Rundqvist, who was the offender on that last play that gave Post the opportunity. Now I'm going to look in particular. I'm going to call somebody out, and maybe they'll answer the call in the second half. Terrell Whitting, 4 goals on the season, 3 assists. You see him on defense right now. I'd like to see a little more out of him in the second half.
And I fully expect that if there is a goal, if he's not the one putting it in the back of the net, he might be the one to provide it. In that first 10 minutes that Post was looking so dangerous, a lot of the play was going through him, taking advantage of his speed.
And then later on in the second half when Sastre came in, that also allowed for some more time for Bacciello to work, as you see him link up with Sastre there. I don't know what that young gentleman, Opina, is doing with the ball, but it's fantastic as he is able to get Bacciello forward. Just can't come on the other end of it. Fans, make sure you stay tuned after the game for the player of the game on CPTV Sports. We got a long way to go, but you can find that here, and then you can see the highlights along with a YouTube special on www.youtube.com/CPTV Sports. My friend Sean will be doing that interview, and there is no clue in the world on who will be the subject. It could be anybody because these teams have such capable players. We've seen shots come from every angle, and you're really watching a juggernaut on both ends. That's why these two teams are ranked in the top 15. Inside the box. Couple of minutes away from the second half here.
A dangerous long throw there from Bacciello. Just doesn't really look like with the height up top there's really anyone to get on the end of it.
Christensen and Opina, that's the new matchup. Taken away by Monterosa. Monterosa out there looking like a man possessed right now. There's Rundqvist. And now Opina. Opina got taken down afterward. Took an elbow to the back of the head. He can get up now, but that's not the place you want to get hit. And they'll create an opportunity forward. Alpina able to set back up with Giesick. Last year, Post, the highest ranking they had was 24th. This year, already up to 15th. They were as far as 9th. And, you know, they've got outstanding players, but the reason why they're such a cohesive unit is because of their outstanding head coach, Ted Haley, who has been around for a little bit. Haley graduated from the College of Charleston in 1997. It's funny because he had a degree in exercise science. You see Post squander the possession there. He's going to need that kind of a degree because this team certainly gets their exercise. One of the faster teams in NCAA Division II. And there's Haley right over there.
Yeah, and I had a chance to speak with Coach Teddy Haley last night. It seems like one vibe I get from speaking with him is that this is a very cohesive team. One of the reasons you see so many players featured already is just because it is a deep team, and there are a lot of guys eager to contribute, and they get along well.
Bacciello goes down, but that's just some good play back and forth. Both players shouldering each other, and he's not able to score. I think that the first goal is going to be a byproduct of who is able to create some separation in the box and get the shot, because and I don't think it'll come through the air because both goalkeepers have tremendous range. And I don't know about a set piece because they also have great defenders that can get in the box. It's going to be about that physical play to get some space for the shot and go maybe far post.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but the way the game's gone so far, I feel as if that first goal is going to come off a mistake. Both teams are doing well to create. They're defending very diligently, and you just have to feel like the only way one of these teams is going to find an edge on the other is going to come from a mistake by one team.
Player down right now on the field, cramping up. I believe it's Henry Alpina. Fans, I want to remind folks that we have an outstanding partner at WFSB Channel 3, especially with their I-Team that has been digging deeper for the last 20 years to give you the stories that matter most, investigating all parties involved in Connecticut that aren't on the up and up. It's WFSB Eyewitness News with the I-Team, always on your side. Here's Henry Alpina. Henry, for Post, is a senior midfielder from Danbury, Connecticut, majoring in business administration.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see him down. I mean, he's really had an impact on the game since coming in. I thought Armando Fillo, who he came in for, did an excellent job as well. But Alpina has just kind of turned that up another notch. He's been really finding those passes, especially linking up with Francisco Sastre whenever Sastre has made a run in behind.
Ted Haley will take Alpina off the field. And as he does that, I want to tell you about a program that occurs Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock on CPTV Sports. Beyond the Beat with Joe Zone, Mike DeMauro, and Jeff Jacobs. Joe Zone hosts this panel of guests. They speak with some of the folks in Connecticut that have the most important stories, and it's a good back and forth between the outstanding talking heads. Make sure that you're on your couch every Tuesday night at 7 for Beyond the Beat. Looking at the action here, it seems like somebody had to go down eventually, and unfortunately, Henry Alpina is suffering a cramp. They'll take care of him over there on the trainer's table. LIU Post currently the top-ranked team in the country at 14-0 overall, 7-0 in the ECC. Dating back to last season, the Pioneers have won 20 regular season games. And I'll tell you what, a great stat that we will save for the second half. 35 seconds to go. We'll tell you why. Something's got to give today. Look at Ruiz looking for some space. But the man who came in for him, number 16, Suleiman Cohn, from New York, he came in from Henry Alpina. and he's able to space it out enough that they lose possession.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive coming into such a heated, contested match for Suleiman Kone to come in and just basically neutralize that attack. It's a very interesting situation. He could have found himself very clumsily stepping in and committing a foul.
Both teams have been neutralized here at a no score. As we enter the half, some quick thoughts from you, Sean.
Well, I think this match has been everything we've expected except for the goals. You've got two very high-powered offenses. Really expected to see some goals come from this match. And I think the fact that we haven't is a testament to just how strong both teams are competing.
Stay tuned with us in the second half for some great action. Maybe one of these guys will score a goal. We'll see a winner today on CPTV Sports. Back here in the action, about 40 minutes left to go in this game. Some outstanding action going back and forth. Still a 0-0 tie here. And you're seeing early on here some good action back and forth in the first half. No goals, but it's starting to heat up here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've noticed one interesting adjustment from Coach Andreas Lindberg for LIU Post. He's actually switched pair foreguard, number 6, who's been playing in the central midfield. He's kind of flip-flopped him with Matthias Ruiz. And it's led to a couple dangerous opportunities already in the first 5 minutes.
And we saw Ruiz get a little bit better at the end of that first half. Here we go now. Opportunity looking for Osbo. Apina on the case. And that will go out of play for the goal kick. That time Apina right on the doorstep there to make sure that nothing happened.
I've been really impressed with this kid today. I mean, he just made literally a 65-yard sprint to break up that play. So really talking about a player who's doing it on both ends of the field.
Goal kick taken. And now into possession. You see Osbo. He who has the 19 goals this season. Looking for his 20th. And at this stage of the game, the way both the defenses have been playing, a goal could be breaking.
Yeah, and I wonder if perhaps the reason that foreguard's been moved out to this left side, as we see a very bad tackle here. But you'll notice at the right back for Post is still Suleiman Kone. So, you'll see that he went in late in the first half due to an injury, and the injured player is still not returned.
I think John Zarilla has to back up a little bit because Danny Marks, who is a very patient official, I've seen him a couple of years now covering soccer in Connecticut. He wrote something in his book. I didn't see him give a card.
Maybe he's just taking a note to himself so he doesn't forget that player and doesn't make a mistake.
Keeping it low on the ground. Big collision. Lindsay catches up with it. That player has to give Lindsay the room there after the save.
Yeah, it's a situation you never like to see. As a former goalkeeper myself, I can tell you, nothing hurts worse than somebody coming through the side of you. But I truly believe both players going for the ball in this situation.
And this is a very big developing story because these are two of the top players in the country in the NCAA Division II. Osbo comes up, and then looking at Lindsay, he's okay too. These are two very big players. I'll tell you what, though, with our announced position the way it is today, we get very close to the action and we can pretty much hear everything. Right now, they're just Andy Lacage, one of the leaders on defense, telling his team, let's keep it simple here. Suleiman Kone has been a very big, important fixture of the last couple moments of play with Lacage forming that back line. And they're going to need to work right now as the Pioneers move up in possession. Here's Bjorna. And Lindsay saying no harm foul there as Samil Turan couldn't create the chance.
Yeah, great defending by Ani Lacage, captain in the back there, number 5. Just reads the play, allows Samil to come down with the ball, and just plays off of him after the touch.
Something brewing here for Post. And the late offside call And the Post University Eagles not happy there. Looking at the way the action has developed, we have about 10 minutes or so have elapsed in the second half. Still 0-0, and you see the push there by Rundquist. And this is as feverish as you can get for a soccer game at this level. The players are all over every single call. And it looks like Lacage will handle the kick. Lacage sends it inside. The players were set back towards the end line, but also towards the edge of the box. That's not going to do anything. They were looking for Sastre, but nothing doing, and Jorgensen will be able to kick it away. Post 11-1-1 in the season. A tie against Bentley hurt their mark. Where they were 9th in the country, they fell to 15th. And they also suffered a loss earlier in the year against Chestnut Hill College, where they lost 1-0. 27 goals, just 5 allowed. And you see how good this defense is, not allowing one against the best team in the nation. Alpina able to save that one momentarily.
I'll tell you, Frankie, as fast as the action was in the first half, the second half is even faster. The pace of this game is furious right now.
And much of the discussion that we had in the half about the game is that it's nice to see the game played this way. It should always be fast. It should be some good back and forth. And if your opponent makes a mistake, you should be able to make them pay for it, at least keeping the intensity and possession up. Long opportunity there by Per Forgard. That won't do anything. Lindsay takes possession. And with 35 minutes to go, we're still tied at 0-0. Here's Sastre. Taken down late after the play was Sastre by the #1 player in the nation, Eilvind Osbow. Sastre able to win the corner kick. Nope, they will root that a goal kick, and they are not pleased. There's a lot of fans at this one, by far the best attendance that Post has had, and they weren't happy there. Far from our vantage point, but it looked really close. And I will tell you that Chinadu Benta, who's had 2 games today, was right on top of the action, so you got to go with his call. Turned around there, twisting and turning into the night is Turan, but not able to get the action going.
Yeah, I think just kind of a miscue between Turan and his midfielder there. Ooh, as we look at a desperate piece of goalkeeping here from Lindsay.
Oh no, Lindsay coming up. It looks like either the knee or the groin. I think he's favoring his right knee. That's not a good sign.
No, never a good sign. Whenever you see a player go down without impact, it's always it's never one of these injuries that you just shake off. If you go down without impact, there's something wrong.
It's been such a fantastic effort by him. This year, his numbers have been quite outstanding. Andre Lindsay, 88.4% save percentage, 7 shutouts, looking to get his 8th today. A twin 1-1 mark. One of the players that plays alongside him for Post, John Hanlon, played the other game in which they were able to get a win. But it's been a really good year for him. And what do you like most about his game?
I just think the confidence that he gives his team. Anytime there's been a dangerous situation that he could in any way be a part of, he's a very proactive goalkeeper. He wins crosses. He comes out and wins through balls, and he's put a lot of pressure on the attackers here for the Pioneers and not giving them any time in the box. If he were to have to leave this game, it would definitely be a loss, not just for this team, but for us as spectators.
Could be devastating. As you're looking at this injury, I do want you to watch his warm-ups and also want to implant the fact that you do need to pay attention to cptvsports.org if you have questions as to when this will re-air, some other post-action that we have, and also some of our live football coverage every Friday nights at 7. This game will be implanted in one of our halftimes, so it's a cool thing. Once we do our highlights, we put them on YouTube on our CPTV Sports channel, and we also put them in halftime of our games during the week, so a good chance to showcase some of these players, and one of those players you definitely want to showcase is an Andre Lindsay caliber player. Just allowing some of the formalities to take place here. And they'll kick it back to LIU Post so that they can have their possession.
Yeah, great to see Lindsay back in the game. Goalkeeper is one of those positions, they do allow you a little time to get it back, get your health back under you and recover.
Look at Lacage. Stay up and stay alive in that one to not allow the attacker the ball. That was Oscar Shellstrom. Throw into post. There's Arilla. And now pair foreguard. Looking for Ospo. Lindsay showing that he's none too worse for wear. You want to see him when he comes up there. And it didn't seem like he had a noticeable limp.
No, he seems to be all right. Matter of fact, the first thing on his mind is distribution. And he finds Sastre again out here. This is the second time he's come to him wide immediately with the hand distribution.
If Sastre doesn't have a nickname, since I don't know him too well, I'm going to give him one. Definitely looks like the Tasmanian Devil out there. He's got like a bowl-shaped haircut and his hair flies up.
Yeah, he's furious like a Tasmanian Devil as well. He's a quick young man. I think that nickname suits him. Hopefully he likes it.
As you see, LIU Post, formerly known as CW Post, will regain the possession. Francesco Graziano Jr. alongside my partner Sean Mecke. It's been a great day of soccer here at Post for this matchup between the number 15th ranked team in the nation, the Post University Eagles, and the number 1 team, the LIU Post Pioneers. Here's Lacage. Able to turn that one up. They're looking for Bacciello. Had to just flick it to try to get something going, and it goes wide, but the right idea to try to get Bacciello involved. Bacciello, an All-American a year ago. Also thinking the fact that his teammate Elpina was one. On the other side, 3 players were All-Americans, including an all-world player, really, in the man who has 19 goals the most, Ivan Dalsbaugh.
Yeah, and he's checked back into the field. I think perhaps his manager just wanted to have a word with him, took him off to have a little chalk talk, and he sent him back out.
And he did come up in that collision earlier with the goalkeeper. Now Ruiz had something going, but quickly stuffed out by Gizik. And another tackle that ill-advised, perhaps, by the almighty Ospo.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. He's really not missed an opportunity to get in a little bit of a late push or a late hit on one of his opponents here. And I feel like part of that's just the frustration. He's not been in the game very much, and this Post defense has been doing a good job of taking him out of it.
Shows that they're working, doing their best, but here he is now. He's on side, too. Fired it. Maybe should have took a little more time to realize that he had number 10, Samil Turan, on the other side of the pitch. If he can get the head up, I think the frustration is what you're looking for. Perhaps I had thought earlier that he was just trying to get the attention of his teammates so he could frustrate them a little bit and use his strength to eventually get in the score column, but definitely some frustration.
Yeah, but I like to see his savviness there. He's found his way in, and as much as just 30 seconds ago, I'm talking about how he's not been involved enough. This is what a world-class player does: is he finds his way through that frustration and creates a dangerous opportunity.
Here's Foreguard. Looking up top, they're finding Lystad. Lystad needing to get that cross off. Deflected by Post. It'll be the third corner kick of the game for the Pioneers. And handling this action will be Eric Bornow. This could be the big chance that the Pioneers are waiting for. Into the box. Far post and headed away. Quick change up. That was a tough bounce for the goalkeeper to handle by Johan Rundqvist. Most of these players, it's good to see, are basically in here for the long haul playing 90. I think that we saw the best player come off Ospo just for a little while so they can recalibrate with him. And also to make sure there were no ill effects after that challenge that he suffered with Andre Lindsay. Stoppage in play with 27 minutes to go. Thank you for tuning in to CPTV Sports. And despite there not being any goals, this is the best action of soccer we've seen all year on CPTV Sports. So you folks should enjoy it. Very fast-paced game, up and down the field with a lot of tempo. Crossed inside, and that was saved by the LIU Post defender, and we'll see 3 apiece in corner kicks. Now the chance that the Eagles have been looking for. Can they summon the strength to score a goal? Here comes the corner. I believe it's Filio. Kept it on the ground. There's Sastre. And that's wide.
Yeah, you hear him cry out in frustration there. That's really the best opportunity that they've created this second half. It's a fantastic set piece. And unfortunately, he just doesn't get his weight over the ball, lets it fly over the net.
You can hear those cries all the way down to his hometown of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Not really happy with himself there. But nonetheless, Post will go back in defense. We've seen 3 corner kicks apiece. Definitely some set pieces because of all the fouls. But no goals yet because of the terrific defense. And now after that, you'll see Ospo try to get involved. Low shot. Oh, and Lindsay is able to just look it wide, hoping that it wouldn't go in, and it didn't.
Yeah, complaints coming here from the Post players. There's a pretty complicated challenge there at midfield. You can't decide whether the person was backing in or going over the top. And really, for my money, I think you have to make a decision one way or another there, because the result is just, it's too affecting of the play. And that's why you hear the Post defenders complaining.
Complicated. That player was jumped like Evel Knievel going over the Hoover Dam.
That's one way to put it for sure.
And that's why Post was frustrated, because they were so focused on that play, and that's when the other team went on the other end to try to get a goal. But at that point, you got to be smart. You know that the game could be called either way. You can't really lament certain aspects of the game because it costs time, and time is valuable.
No, and all credit to Lekaj and Gizik, 2 seniors, very, very strong in the back line, provided great cover on that play.
This could be the crowning moment of this Lamoy Field. Obviously, Lamoy Field's seen some great late goals. I called the first game here for soccer, and there was a goal in the 116th minute that was the difference maker in the first ever doubleheader at Lamoy Field. And it's looking for another crowning moment. This would obviously top that because it would be a late goal against the #1 team in the country. But the Pioneers have other thoughts today. They'd like to maintain their perfect mark. 14-0-0. What does it take to stay undefeated?
The main thing it takes to stay undefeated is exactly what Coach Lindbergh has said, is they just don't even think about it. It's not in their mind. They're just going to take it one game at a time. If they go undefeated, great. But more importantly, they've got to focus on the game at hand.
Kone looking low. Believe that's Giesick getting involved in the action. They're going to call that against Post. Both teams just getting frustrated at the whistle because I think they're frustrated with the fact that they haven't been able to break through. Gino Cadet's going to handle that one. A little frustration for Tehran as he's not able to keep that possession alive. And going down is Elpina, and that will be called against Rundquist. Good call by the official?
Absolutely. It's not only a good call by the official, but it's what we call a professional foul from Rundquist. He sees the play developing at a pace that he can't keep up with, and so he takes the player out.
Cadet getting that inside. It was looking for the head of Sastre, just couldn't get it on target, and it looked like they had Jorgensen beat too.
Sastre's been involved anytime Post is challenged for the goal this half.
This has just been such an amazing atmosphere here for Senior Day at Post University at Lamoy Field. And I'll tell you what, both of these teams very game right now, trying to get the victory. Just over 22 to go. I'm Francesco Graziano Jr. I'm happy to bring you the action alongside my partner Sean Mecke. So far in this game, we've seen a few corner kicks. The edge and shots going to Post, even though on the year, we've seen LIU Post have more shots. And at that time, they had one, and it was turned away by Lindsay. Lindsay very good at putting the players in organization for his team. That ball is out of play. Quickly, Kone puts it in. A good deflection. Can they get the shot? Saved and then almost headed through.
And that is a massive save from Marco Jorgensen. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking we're hearing Lindsay's name over and over again, and even as the play has been, we just haven't seen Marco Jorgensen really been called upon. The shots just haven't come on frame, and here a massive save from Marco Jorgensen. Remember that. That could be a turning point.
I'll take my scolding there. You're right. Marco Jorgensen definitely needs some more acclaim. Definitely had a lot of saves, and that one was a big one. But in the second half, play has been controlled mostly by LIU Post. Finally capitalizing on what they want to do here. Can they get a goal right here? Right in front of us, a good shot, but it will be taken care of by Lindsay. That time it was Bjorno.
Yeah, I think that more of just a hopeful ball. He had an opportunity to get across in, couldn't pick out his target. But when you've got a target like Ivan Austbo, you may as well just serve it in the box now and again.
On the attack now is Post. There's Zarilla looking for Elpina. You can't miss Elpina. The flying golden pony. Into the box. They're going to catch him off balance. Man, that was almost the goal of the century. He came out from about the 20-yard line, but at the sideline, tried to poke it through so they could find somebody on top with the head, but that one goes just wide.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe he is audacious enough to have a shot there. Shot, cross, whatever it was, that was a dangerous ball.
I think you're picking on him because of his hair by saying that he has the audacity, and I think you'd be right. Trust me, I'm a man that wears purple and pink a lot, so when you have your appearance in certain ways, people will think you're audacious, and Elpina, I think he fits the mode.
He's got a lot of flash, but he's got the skill to back it up. He's a skilled player, and I've enjoyed watching him play today.
20 to go. I'm telling you, Sean, with the way that both of these teams have played, I want to see a winner. You know, ties are very common and they would deserve a draw, but you got to leave it on the field here.
Well, 20 minutes plus overtime, I get the sense we're going to get a winner at some point here.
You think it's coming on a mistake?
I still think it's going to come on a mistake or at least an oversight.
Mistakes are very common in the fact that when you have a good goalkeeper, they got to be off balance. And if they don't know what's happening directly in front of them, that's what could lead to it. And that time they played a good offside trap.
And speaking of mistakes, you see the giveaway there by Jose Monterosa there. Could have led to a more dangerous opportunity.
Kone and Lacage having some trouble going back and forth with their goalkeeper. Lacage is the captain, and ultimately they got to listen to him. And Lindsay deferred to his captain there, and it ended up working out. But certainly, LIU Post is playing so strong on the offensive end that Post is starting to break down. Can they move it forward now? Here's Tehran. And calmly controlling that one was Giesick. Out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, credit to Tehran for not losing his cool. He's facing an awful lot of physical challenge from both defenders there from Post, but nothing outside of the rules of play. Credit to Tehran. He's going to continue on and compete.
There's the other gentleman with the luscious blonde locks. Number 14, Carl Lystad, who has played a cleaner second half, I would have to say. Trying to win the ball on the far side as the Post attacker. And he could not do that. It will be a goal kick. Quick substitution here. I think Bacciello just came back on. But they got to find a way for Sastre to get on possession, keep it long enough so that he could trick the defenders, and then Bacciello's got to get that rebound. That's what I think that it's going to be a key for Post. You got to take the men off your best player because he has had virtually no touches in the second half and very limited in the first half.
Yeah, and also in at that break was Oscar Kellstrom in for Samil Tehran.
They'll give Tehran the break he needs.
Yeah, we could see him again if this game goes to overtime.
Deflection on the ball. Here comes Bacciello. Can he turn this into something real? The personnel gets in front of him, so he'll have some options. He's pushed. And you know what? The one time that he's not called, you'll see that go away, and it's going to be a corner kick. But the one time that number 22 there on possession isn't called, John Runquist, it's the one time that it really could have benefited Post. Now, LIU Post has quickly turned the possession game around. For the game, I'd say that the possession is probably tight, probably about 55-45. But in the second half, it's probably north of 60-65 for the LIU Post Pioneers. How have they been able to maintain possession?
Well, I think their midfield has been just a little bit stronger. Now, that said, the sway in dangerous opportunities has really been about even in this half. But the midfield for LIU Post, the big, strong, defensive-type midfielders, have just won more of the ball, so they can keep more of the ball.
And if you've been paying attention since the beginning of the game, my smart color analyst told you earlier on, you got to watch the game in the middle of the field. That's where it's going to take place, especially in a position-based game. And really, between the 35 is when we've seen some of our hottest action. You can hear the rumbles out there today. Both teams so heavily invested in this one. A lot of oohs and ahs. Sastre with the throw-in. There's Monterosa. There's Sastre working to the middle of the field. That's a great defensive play. That was made by Haywood, I believe. We've seen him do that a couple of times tonight. There's Bjorno finding Osbo. Nobody on the other end of that one. As good as he is, the defense for Post has been just that much better because he just hasn't gotten anything going, particularly in this half.
Absolutely.
And they've had a lot of chances in the attacking third for possession this half. Runquist and Lystad almost lose that one. Just over 13 to go. Some fancy moves back and forth, but ultimately the Pioneers will move back in possession. And if they move this quick, they have Osbo running up forward. Defended well by Kone. He wanted that ball but didn't get it.
And every call is becoming more and more hotly contested. Neither team wants to lose this game.
And I love it. That's what you need to see when you have the number 15 team and the number 1 team going forward. If Post can win this, you have to think that they'll go towards that number 9 spot they were in and maybe even north of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A win like this, if they could come out with a win here, would absolutely inspire them going into the postseason.
National contender, I think so, just by the way they played.
Yeah, I think both these teams have a legitimate chance to come out of the region if they can get past each other.
Bjorno, stopped by Kone. Let's see if Kone can try to work this one out. They're going to rule that a goal kick. What an outstanding effort by Kone. Seemed like Kone was having trouble communicating with his teammates. And all of a sudden, Kone's into the action, and he's playing hot right now, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's done really well. I mean, you look at somebody who is not included in the starting lineup. Maybe that's part of the reason why there have been some questions of chemistry and some discussions going on between he and his center backs, but he's certainly done his job tonight.
Looking to find Joey Bacciello. And Jorgensen comes up with it. Man, it's going to take something special for them to beat Jorgensen. It's going to be something special for us to get away from the tie that we're in right now. It's about 11 minutes to go. Here's Runquist. Battle for possession on both sides.
Yeah, mishit here by Lacage, and if I'm honest, I think that might be the first thing I've seen him do wrong all night. I think his coach will take that.
He's outstanding. Definitely the leader of this team. Both soldiers forward. Looking for a chance on net, but Jorgensen quickly comes up with it. And you'll see, Ruiz has definitely been another one of those players that we've seen step up for the Pioneers. Out of the action there was number 8 for LIU Post. And really trying to make sure that he's inserting himself into the action. That's Tom Bowen, new substitute.
Oh,
Looking for the action.
Save from Lindsay.
And a good job by him. Thank you for covering for me on that one. Tehran looking to get the rebound and couldn't put it through.
I mean, there it is. There's your number 1 goal scorer in the country with his absolute shining moment to win this game. And frankly, the shot that he gets in on goal, he does not get his foot through the ball and leaves it there for Lindsay to go after it. And Lindsay desperately parries it away from the net. What a fantastic save from the goalkeeper.
Normally, Lindsay takes those goal kicks, and you see sometimes they make people do that because they can't handle it. But right now, the leg of Lindsay not working at 100%, so they had to have Lacage take that one. Definitely a lot of blowback that the official is having to deal with right now. Under 10 to go. We're tied in a tight one. And they will now reset.
You know, we spent the pregame talking about these two forwards and the matchup between them. How about these two goalkeepers? Either end of the field, you've got a point-blank save to keep the tie.
Basically all-American candidates, all-American players. Inside of the box. Couldn't find the head as that was Per Forgard who pushed it away. Jorgensen comes up with it. Like I said, the tests that Jorgensen have faced today haven't been as amount of the quality that LIU Post has put Lindsay through. Good forehand to the possession, keeps it low, and it's saved by Lindsay.
Did well to hold it because there were two attackers lurking at that back post just waiting to gobble up any opportunity.
8 to go, no score, still. See, he kicked that one away and there was a loud grimace. He's hurt, but he's playing through it like the soldier that he is. Andre Lindsay hurt on a collision earlier. Didn't help the fact that after that he went down again and hurt the knee. So he's having trouble driving his foot forward. Into the box, over the head of the defenders and the attackers, and it will be a goal kick. So the attacking third has been certainly the kind of action that you need to see from Post when they're getting the ball there, but nothing that they're being able to maintain, because I really think that you have to keep the ball in there for a little while to try to change the angle of the shot where Jorgensen has his back turned to the ball. Collision, that'll go against the Post University Eagles. And number 25, Jose Monterosa. Starting to cool down considerably here. Gotta be under 50 degrees here in Waterbury. On the outskirts of town. I don't know what Tehran was doing there, throwing his hand towards the ball. That would have been a yellow card.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely would have been, but you've got to just point to the fact that he's tried to keep his cool, but he's been frustrated all day. He's worked extremely hard. He's created some opportunities, and he hasn't been able to reap the reward.
That's the Post defenders. That's the reason why they've given up 5 goals this year, and they're playing the best team in the country and not allowing anything so far. Could that change? Lindsay comes up with it. I really think it's going to have to be their attack. The Post attack has to keep it going. As we mentioned, it's been the midfield, but Bacciello's had nobody to help him out, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 strong center backs to go up against. He can play with back to goal, but only if the ball's played in on the ground. He's not winning those balls in the air, not unless they're served from wide.
And there's Mora looking to help him out. Just couldn't come up with it in time to challenge Jorgensen. Alspo looking to set up his own eventual opportunity. Here's Tehran. Keeping that low. And they were looking for Forgard, but that was Giesick able to get it back. Here's Zarilla. Mora goes down. They got to get back on defense now. Here's Bjorno. Kone playing him tight. Looking for Osbo. Nothing there. Here's Runquist. Headed away by Giesick. They can reset up towards the 30-yard line. Now this is the kind of possession that the LIU Pioneers have been really hoping for. They'll have some time.
Yeah, this is their style of the game, is to get forward, get numbers in the box, and work the ball around.
Ruiz looking for the shot. Monte Rosa turns it away. Now Post will move on the attack. It's a 1-on-2 situation. What can Bacciello do? Looking for some help. Here comes Whitting. Bacciello makes the move. Goes low, and it's in the back of the net. With under 4 minutes to go, Bacciello with the goal. He created that all by himself.
Absolutely an individual effort from Bacciello. Listen to this crowd go wild.
Lamoy Field has seen some excellent moments in its 2 years of existence. I will tell you folks, none better than that. It was a moment where they had to stay on possession. They really had to keep it going because the other team had the time in their advantage. They were going to waste some time to try to make sure that they could beat Lindsay. And quickly it was Monte Rosa taking the ball, staying on it, finding Bacciello, and Bacciello just kept it.
And I stand corrected, Frankie. I stand corrected. It was not a mistake that led to that goal. You've got LIU is pushing forward. There's numbers up, but Bacciello is in all by himself against 4. It is just an outstanding individual effort that made that goal. And if it stands as the deciding goal in this game, that could be the biggest goal of this kid's career.
You know what, though? I agree with you. But Monte Rosa, a fantastic play to set him up. We want to give them the credit, and especially Bacciello with a crazy goal.
For sure.
But the mistake, you're right. It was a mistake because Ruiz selfishly deciding to take a shot there. Monte Rosa steps in front of it. He had no angle towards the net. Steps in front of it, and all of a sudden they're off to the races. Sean Mecke, that's why they pay you the big bucks. Good prediction. Under $350 to go. Goal of the year type stuff in terms of moment and place.
And now can they hold on? 3 minutes and 35 seconds remain. LIU Post is going to bring everything for those 3 minutes.
And none better than Sastre. Wow. 2 times on the ball there. Able to make sure that he could keep it alive for his team. And they feel it right now. The number 15 team is looking to knock out number 1. This will be huge going into the postseason. They got to survive the last 3 minutes. That was a push by Rundquist. He didn't get called. Here's Christensen. Lacage and Christensen going. Look at Christensen going against 3 defenders. The deflection will allow Post to take the ball, but the speed heating up even more now.
Oh, yeah. And this is what you're going to see now. LIU Post's got nothing to lose. 1-0, 2-0. It's all the same.
And we'll take this opportunity before the action to go to break. You're watching CPTV Sports. Back here in Waterbury where the fans are going nuts. That was a big goal. The biggest goal in, I would venture to say, post-soccer history. Bacciello, the All-American, was the man who did it. And it really, as we mentioned earlier, huge mistake there by Ruiz. I know he was trying to get a shot on goal, but Monte Rosa turned it around. And there you see Monte Rosa could certainly be a hero for them.
Absolutely. I mean, he hasn't been the flashiest player today. He hasn't really necessarily done a whole lot going forward, but he has been a rock in that holding midfield slot. Him along with Lindsay, just a big, strong performance today defensively. Makes a lot out of that opportunity, gets it up to Bacciello for that goal.
And Lindsay, rock solid today, everywhere they've needed him to be. 5 goals against for him on the year, 0.38 goals against average. He's been spectacular. I would venture to say he could be a player of the game. But in Post's history, never beaten a number 1 team in the nation. Playing LIU Post right now, who is undefeated, 14-0. They could suffer their first loss. It really seemed like Post, over the last couple of minutes, just rested that momentum back. There was that one chance that LIU Post had. And then right when they had that chance, Monte Rosa and Post turned it around.
Yeah, and if I'm Auspo right now, all I'm thinking about right now is that golden opportunity in front of goal. He just couldn't get his foot through the ball. He sends it in on frame, but not nearly strong enough to beat our goalkeeper here on the left. I think that now you're going to see LIU Post is going to throw the kitchen sink, and it'll be a tough tough last 2 minutes here for Post to hold on.
Lacage sends that forward. Not too much time left for LIU Post, so you know that the Post Eagles could waste some time here. They're going to challenge Jorgensen. Can they get the cushion? That's a good save. He'll push it back up. Less than just a couple of minutes to go in here. The Post Eagles and their fans can feel it. They got to defend pretty well here because you know they're going for Osbow.
Yeah, and a good clearance here again by Giesick, number 8 center back for Post. He has been stellar all day. If they can hold on to this victory, he's going to be a big part of the success.
Jorgensen having to move up on that one.
Yeah, it's this time in the game. I mean, if whatever you've got, it's time to press. Mistakes, who cares if you lose 2-0, 1-0, it's the same. So they're going to try and get up the field and get that goal however they can.
And Post can take all the time they want. They feel it now. Throwing it long. And it really looks like Jorgensen is going to be able to send it forward, but it won't do anything. The impossible happening in Waterbury today. The Post Eagles defeat the undefeated LIU Post Pioneers.
What an upset. What an upset. This has been a great match to watch. Exciting competitive soccer back and forth all day. We said it might be a moment with a mistake leading to a goal. And in the end, that mistake did come, but all credit to the individual brilliance of Joey Bacciello.
The biggest win in Post Eagles history. They are now 12-1-1 on the season, giving the #1 team in the nation their first loss. We're going to have to talk to the player of the game next. You're watching NCAA Division II Soccer on CPTV Sports.
Sean Mackey here for CPTV Sports with the man of the match, Joey Bacciello. Joey, how do you feel after that win?
Lost for words, really. I mean, it's the biggest win we've ever had, and to score the goal in that fashion, I mean, couldn't ask for a better result than that.
And Joey, you're an All-American last year. This is your senior year. Would it be safe to say that that is the most exciting goal of your career?
Oh, by far. It's the best goal I've ever scored in the biggest game I've ever played in. So, I mean, lost for words again. I can't even explain it.
And take us through the goal a little bit. Tell us where the goal came from, and what you were able to do to put it in the back of the net.
I think they whipped the ball in or something. They had us pinned back for a little while, and the ball was cleared, and Jose just toe poked it to me, and I just picked it up in our own half. I think I beat like 4 players and just slotted it past the keeper. I blacked out. I don't even remember what happened.
What does this game mean for Post Soccer going into the postseason?
Oh, it's a huge result. It proves that we can do anything and proves that we're real national contenders, and that was our goal in the beginning of the year, and now we just got to keep pushing on, and hopefully we can win it all.
Congratulations on a great performance. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you. Thank you.
My partner, Sean Mackey, he did a great job. And also, Andy Heavysides, our producer, Tim Farrell, our director, and Jeremy Karpf, Chris Walsh, and Marshall Sibley. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Francesco Graziano Jr. Good night.